show. I'm Tosh Taylor.
And I'm Jenna Morton, and we are thrilled to be bringing you the very first episode of Season 8 of the Pickle Planet podcast.
Can you believe it?
I cannot. That number sounds just so big to me. It's so exciting. I cannot believe it's almost 300 episodes now that you and I have done together here.
Once you start thinking about the tiny little room that you and I started in
very warm.
Yeah, above my garage. And then we ended up in my basement, and then we ended up here. We've done a few around my kitchen table and a few other people's kitchen tables for that matter at this point.
Local businesses and out along the banks of the Petitcodiac. We have taken this on the road many times.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's always a blast. And we are very, very much looking forward to bringing you another season full of fantastic discussions and interviews and all kinds of fabulous things. Mm-hmm. So to start off our season, we wanted to really kind of focus on connection, because that's really what this is all about. Mm-hmm. It's about connecting with each other is how it really started. I was like, oh, Tosh is kind of cool. Maybe she'll be my friend if I go and force her to talk to me in her little tiny apartment studio.
Spoiler alert, I am. It worked.
It worked. So this is all about, the power of just kind of making those little connections, and that's going to kind of be a bit of a theme throughout the season. And so to start us off, we are going to talk about something that's actually called the Connector Program. And to do that, we have Michelle Ménard with us. Hello.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I feel very honored to be here on your season premiere.
Well, thank you so much. I thought it was just kind of a perfect fit. So we are going to talk about the Connector Program. Before we dive into the program itself, it is run through an overall organization that you work for. So tell us a little bit about who you are and who you work with.
Sure. So I'm the Director of Workforce Development Services, and I work for the Southeast Regional Service Commission. So we do the economic development for the region, and we have we have 8 departments, mosquito control, and you're probably more familiar with Eco 360, Plan 360. We also have social and community development, transportation, infrastructure, and tourism. So it's a very big organization, and we serve 12 communities in the region.
Excellent, excellent. So the Connector Program is an excellent program, but first I'm kind of interested as to where the idea came from.
So the program originated in Halifax over 10 years ago, so it's been running quite a while now, and it's in over 30 cities across the country. So the one that we host here encompasses the whole region, so it's a little bit different where you see some that are like in Kitchener or in Winnipeg. This one is a regional program.
Okay. Due to our size, I'm assuming.
Yes.
So for people who aren't familiar with it, what exactly is the Connector Program?
So the Connector Program is a very simple model. It's a one-time meeting where we introduce newcomers, international students, and recent graduates who we call connectees with business professionals in the region who we call connectors, or just professionals in the region. We try to match them with someone in the same industry or same field, and it's a really great way for them to fast track through networking and meet people right away and learn everything they need to know about their industry or what organizations are here, or just any career advice in general. So they'll go for a one-time coffee meeting that we facilitate.
Okay, and then how many connectors do you have in the program?
So we now have over 250, and that's a big thank you to our coordinators who have worked really, really hard to promote the program. You've probably seen it all over LinkedIn. We have signs that we use. So not only is it a great program for the people, the newcomers here, so newcomers can be anyone from a different city, different province, or even international, but the connectors are really, there's a new kind of community that we've built for the connectors as well, so we have events for them so they can meet one another, so there's a really win-win for both connectees and connectors.
I have to say that's probably been actually my favorite thing about the program is anytime I go on LinkedIn, I just keep seeing people, I'm like, oh, I didn't know this person was in the community doing this thing, because like you say, so many people who are connected with the program, whether they're the 2 people meeting or someone from your organization is posting about it and saying, oh, Tosh met with Jenna, and Tosh does this, and Jenna does this, and they're part of the program. I'm like, I didn't know either of these people existed and had these skill sets. This is so interesting. And seeing those kind of relationships form beyond that first meeting is just, it's amazing the power of it.
Yes, and we always encourage the connectees to take pictures of their meetings and post them. So it's amazing to see all of the stories that they have and the connections that are being made. It's just a great way to promote that, you know, being a good neighbor, being a welcoming community, and we're so unique here that we have the French language and the English language. So it's really nice to see the melding of the two together.
I think it's a really great way to kind of cut the nerves out of it a little bit as well, right? Like we know that there are networking programs happening all the time, but it's hard to be that brand new person to walk into, you know, a business after hours or whatever it may be and not know a single soul in that room. So this way, they may already have a connection with one person, so they can at least hope that, you know, they'll have someone there that they can link eyes with and be like, it's okay.
Yeah. We actually host events every month or so. So we do like networking events, or we also do workshops as well for our participants, so they can actually learn how to network in a Canadian environment, because networking looks different in every country, and there's different cultures. So we do different workshops on how to network, and it's really great because you see some of the connectees come in, they don't know anyone, and then they become friends with other connectees, and then they come to the next event with the friend that they made at the last event. So it's really, really, really amazing to see.
I have to say that was one of the things that I think kind of surprised me that I hadn't really thought of, because I have done the connector program. I've been a connector who's met with a connectee, and when we met for coffee, which was fantastic, I was really kind of thrown by some of the questions she was asking in terms of really wanting to make sure that she understood, you know, the difference in the culture of, you know, is it appropriate for me to do this? And I was like, oh yeah, no. So I want you to, like, you can reach out to this person, talk to this person, there's this thing. She was like, but I can just do that. I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's what we expect. And it didn't really cross my mind of how different, I would think even city to city networking is, and how important it is to have that chance to be like, oh no, this is my safe space where I can ask someone, can I do this thing, and not, you know, be worried about what they're going to think of you because you're asking this question.
Yeah, it's just, it's been a really fulfilling program to run. It's really inspiring, and it's amazing to see all of the volunteers that join the program as Connector, and just I hear how much they love the program, so it makes me feel good that we're doing something right.
Well, it's fantastic because it is such a low barrier for, you know, as a connector. Sometimes, you know, you're asked to be a mentor, take part in a program, you're like, oh, I don't have the time for this. And with the connector program, you know, it was Kat that I was dealing with. She was very like, it's one coffee. You go for one coffee once with one person. That is all you're signing up for. If you want to do more after that, that's on you. But your commitment is, you know, an hour or two of your time where you get to go have coffee with an interesting person who wants to ask you about what you do. Who wouldn't want to do that?
Yeah, that's such a good point. It really isn't a mentorship program. So sometimes people can think that and think, oh, you know, I don't have time for that. But it's really however much time that the connector can give. So if they want to do one meeting, they can. If they want to do one a month, they can. We have some connectors saying, like, give me another match, give me another match. So
I believe her name is Heather.
Yes.
We love Heather Fraser. Heather's been on the show many times, and I see her all the time commenting and sharing, and
well, we
she's
have an event with
fantastic.
her actually on the 29th. It's a networking in nature, so it's a little bit different than our typical networking event where it's more professional. This one is more of a, how can you have those authentic conversations in nature in different settings, so. Yeah.
That we have done that really
Oh,
with Heather.
yes.
Some of you have watched and listened to us do that, and it's fantastic. But I love that that your program is doing that. You're not just having these professional. You need to, you know, worry about how you look and how you present yourself, and you're going to go to a very, you know, not austere environment, but something that's a little more rigid and structured. But
Yes.
you're doing things where, like, no, we're doing, you know, speed networking, we're doing walks in nature, we're doing lots of things to just help bring people together.
Yeah, and I think that some of my best conversations have been on a walk, so why not bring that into the Connector program and do something a little different?
Yeah, I think that that's becoming kind of more of a thing. A friend of mine was telling me the other day that she was going with her boss to the zoo so they could go walk around the zoo and brainstorm. And she does not work with animals. She does not work, like, I was like, what? Like, but I thought, what a cool idea at the same time, because it's not often you can go to the zoo without your children and really enjoy it.
There is that.
So I think that, like, yeah, getting Heather out there and getting people out in nature, and instead of saying, hey, do you want to go to a coffee shop? Hey, do you want to not necessarily go for a hike, but, you know, a walk through Mapleton or Mill Creek over in Riverview, whatever it may be. I think it's a brilliant idea, especially if you kind of are surrounding that. If the work that you're looking for more information on is kind of more outdoorsy and stuff, then that's definitely the way to go.
Yeah, and we try to move the events around the whole region, so we showcase different areas. Like with Heather's event, for example, we're going to do Irishtown Park, so we're going to introduce Irishtown Park to some folks who may have never been there. So, and we're even providing transportation. So, trying to make it as barrier-free as possible.
I was wondering a bit about that in terms of, you know, setting up connectors and connectees. You know, do you kind of have little pockets now in each of the different, you know, like, do you have a group of connectors in Shediac and Salisbury and that type of thing?
Yes, I think there's still more to go. We've really tried to establish the base here, and now we've had our Coffee with Connectors in Shediac, and we're going to be promoting it in Memramcook as well, and we've promoted it in Albert County. So the plan is to have more super connectors that we can really reach out to. But yeah, our next Coffee with Connectors we're going to do in Dorchester at the Ladysmith Manor. So we're trying to move things around and get more into the whole region. So
and
yes.
That's so fantastic for the connectors as well, who don't necessarily make the time to go to some of these places, right? Like you're saying, you know, Irishtown, how often do I go there? Not very often, let's be fair. Usually it's with Heather.
Yeah.
Ladysmith Manor is another place where it's fantastic, but there's lots of people in Moncton who haven't made the trip out there to see what's happened with that space, and it's such a fantastic space. So I think it's going to be really wonderful to watch this program continue to grow and create these connections throughout the whole Southeast region, you know, among people who have lived here, you know, for a month or 10 years, their whole life.
My favorite thing is when I see a connectee get a job and then come back and become a connector.
Oh,
that
wow.
is the coolest part of the program. We've had a couple of success stories like that. So we do track how many jobs the connectees get. So far there's been 35 this year who have got employment. But that's not the point of the program. The point of the program is really to help them network and meet. So it's just been really wonderful to see.
So for someone watching or listening and they think, okay, I want to be a connector, like what makes you qualified to be a connector? Do you have to be a business owner? Do you have to, what are the guidelines?
Basically, you just need to have a wide network yourself. That's about it. So if you know a lot of people, or if you know a wide variety of people, join the program. And if you want to give back, that's another big. And if you want to grow your own network, because you're going to meet new people as well. So you don't necessarily have to own a business, or you don't have to even have been here that long. But if you have a wide circle around you, then you'd be a great candidate to join.
And to make the point clear too, this is kind of across industries. There's not a specific, it's not just about business. It's very much, you know, every industry you're hoping to have some kind of representation for, because you end up with people coming in. I think that's kind of how I got pulled in originally, was someone reached out to say, you know, we really don't have enough people in kind of marketing, communications, podcasting, online, digital media creation, and that was a hole that you guys were looking for in terms of connectors. I was like, as soon as I said it, I was like, that's the wrong word. And so I was like, well, I'm more than happy to talk with people, but that kind of idea of like, I don't know what I could share. And sure enough, I met with Raksha, and we've had multiple conversations. We run into each other all the time now. I actually, you know, didn't get her a job because I don't have jobs to give.
That's okay.
But I've commissioned music through her now.
Yes.
And so actually, if you're listening to the podcast this season, season 8, our introduction, our music for the podcast this year is a wonderful track by Vimmel. And he created it specifically to promote getting out there, especially, you and I used it all summer in our reels, getting people to go out and visit playgrounds. So Now Go Play is the name of the track that we're using. And that all came about because of the Connector program. If I hadn't had that one coffee, all these other things wouldn't have happened.
That's so awesome, and they actually reached out to us to let us know, and we're so happy to hear that. And sometimes you don't even realize how many people you know. Like, and I'll meet someone and I'll have a conversation with them. I'm like, oh, you should meet this person. Like, through a conversation, you start to connect things that you wouldn't have even thought to connect. Is the word we're looking at. So sometimes you just join the program and you never know what will come of it.
Yeah, for sure. Now, does the program run year-round? Like, are we?
It never stops.
It never stops. Okay.
It never stops.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. So I have the only part I've been involved in again through CAT is with the Idea Center, which we've had on the show a couple of seasons back. This just absolutely incredible program for students who want to be entrepreneurs, and a couple of times during the semester they bring in entrepreneurs to come in and discuss. So Jenna and I have done that quite a few times now. And
I love it.
Same. I love it because it's nice to remember where we once were. And at that age, I would have never thought I would be doing what I'm doing now. So it's nice to see kids that are already involved in that and are already thinking about no, I want to be my own boss.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
I saw such a synergy between the Connect program and the Idea Center. So I was like, maybe Kat, you should bring the connectors to the Idea Center because why not? And now we have a francophone at the District Scolaire Francophone Sud. We have the Centre Idée too, so that's the same program, but it's at the francophone district now. So
oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it just launched last January. So
it's such a fantastic program, and yeah, finding those connections between them is so important because, you mentioned about as a kid not thinking this is where you'd end up, but I'm like, 10 years ago as an adult, this is not where I thought I would end up. So, those things are always changing, especially in this, this day and age. Yeah. Things do shift so many times throughout the course of a person's career now. It's such a different world than it was even, when we were growing up and being prepared for the workforce. It's such a different place.
Yeah.
And having these connections are so vitally important for yourself at any stage.
Oh, well, and there's so many job titles here. Like if you're looking at internationally, there's a lot of job titles here that they don't have in other countries. So sometimes it's unclear what the roles are. So through the Connector program, the participants can learn about the different job titles and what they need and what actually they do, because sometimes it's not clear. So
that's a really good point. There's a lot of job titles these days. I'm not sure what they do either. I look at listings and going, oh. Yeah, that was not a thing when I used to look at job listings.
No, oh no, there's definitely a whole wide new world, and a lot of it has to do around digital media, for sure. And we slowly try to learn it all if we can. We just can't keep up with the lingo. It doesn't happen.
No, I can't keep up with any of the lingo for anything. Low key.
Low key, I can't keep up with it.
We both have teenage daughters, so there's a lot of lingo that we've been learning.
Yeah, very, very much so. But it's something that I think is a great, for these people that are coming and realizing these new jobs, for younger people as well who need to make connections with people in their world. One of the gals that we spoke to one time was actually considering going to the university or college that you had gone to.
Yes.
And you were able to sit down and explain the school tour, which I thought was so cool. Because that's not the connection you expected to make that day while we were there. We were there to talk about publishing. And I think you were publishing that day. I was doing podcasting and you were doing writing. So you never know where it's going to take you when you meet with new people. And you always feel good when you're done, right? As a connector, or I think even as a connectee, your bucket gets filled when you're able to help somebody out.
Yeah, I just thank all the connectors that joined, and thank you both for being in the program. But yeah, it's just such a, without the connectors, we couldn't do the program. So it's really amazing to see how many people have come together to be a part of the program, and you see them come, and they always have great things to say when they come to our events. So it's just really, I couldn't do it without the connectors, for sure.
Well, I think it's such a great reminder of how diverse, the job market is here, that you don't necessarily think of, because so many people work in, small industries, they work remote now. Mm-hmm. There's all kinds of things that you don't necessarily, look at the landscape and see what's happening here mm-hmm. economically. And I would think, especially as you get into some of the smaller, centers outside of Moncton, you look at, Memram Cook and Salisbury, and, all these places have so much going on that, as a connector even, you're just like, this is really great to be able to see this reflected back more and more through the efforts that you guys make on social media to share all the connections mm-hmm. that are happening.
Mm-hmm. Yes. There's so many happening that I feel like we could be sharing something every day.
Well, speaking of sharing things, why don't you share with everyone how they could find out more information about the Connector program, whether they want to offer their time as a connector, or they might feel like they need some help to be matched with someone as a connectee.
Sure. So you can find everything by going to our website. So it's www. Do people still say that?
I don't. We don't know. We're not hip.
Yeah. www.nbse. So New Brunswick Southeast. nbse.ca/connect. So. Yeah.
Okay, that's super easy. And get involved if you can in some way, shape, or form, or tell that new neighbor that just moved to town about the program, and get involved and help out, and let's get things up and moving.
Well, and thank you all for taking the time to join us, to listen in, to watch on Rogers. And we are back. This is season 8. We are going to be back here every week with another episode for you. So we hope that you will stay tuned. Until then, take care.
See ya.